Hello, people. Welcome back to episode 2 of Road to Stage. Road to Stage is a bit of a weird, interesting title to call it. I feel it's a bit cringe, but I don't know what else I'm supposed to call it. I'm on the road to the stage, prep, competition, whatever you want to call it. If you can think of a better name, then by all means, please let me know in the comments. I just thought Road to Stage made the most sense. I know it's probably been used a lot by other people making videos, but you know, it works, it makes sense, so here we are. But anyway, in today's episode, we're going to be training pull. So I thought I'd sit down for a little bit, chat about what we're going to be doing, and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, in today's video, hitting pull over at South Coast again. So this is our second pull day of the week. So currently following a push-pull lower, push-pull split. Obviously one lower a week because we are men's physique, meaning we don't have to train legs, pretty much. Every men's physique competitor ever who, trains men's physique, the reason they're going into men's physique is because they don't want to train legs. That is the real truth behind it. No, but actually it just is the way it is. Obviously you wear board shorts, I think is how you say it. As you can tell, quite new to this, so this whole bodybuilding terminology is still fairly new to me. But yeah, we'll be competing in September. I think I said that in the last video. So yeah, prep officially starts in 5 weeks. 5 weeks. 4 weeks on Monday. 4 weeks on Monday, actually, which is quite scary. Prep, it does seem to be like quite a big deal. I think, it's not easy, that's for sure. And especially the first time doing it, it's like, how am I going to handle it? I think physically, I won't have too much of an issue. I've always been someone who's found it quite easy to get lean. Like for me, the issue's never been being lean, it's been putting on size. Again, purely down to genetics. I'm just genetically a very skinny person. I mean, when I got into training, for those of you who may know, for those of you who don't, I was about 16 years old when I finished training. So I just finished school, like secondary school in the UK. And I was about 57, 56 kilos, but I was 6'4". So yeah, mental. I know I was 6'4" in year 11 when I finished my GCSEs, weighing about it was sub 60 kilos. It was around, I think it was about 56, 57 kilos if I remember correctly. I do have a picture somewhere of my first ever weigh-in. If I can find it, I'll throw it on the screen, but probably won't be able to, so it's probably not going to be on the screen. But yeah, so mad to think that I'm now double that body weight since I started training. So I'm 8 years into training now. I'm 24 years old. Coming up to my 8th year will be complete in summer. And I'm double my body weight. I now weighed in at 242 pounds this morning, which I think is about 111, maybe 112 kilos roughly, which is mental. I'm literally double the body weight I was when I started. I have been heavier before. I have been about 265 pounds was the heaviest I got to, but I was powerlifting. This is about a year or two ago, about a year and a half ago. I was powerlifting and I was just eating everything in front of me, but it was shit food, man. Like it was awful food. This is something I wish I knew better when I was powerlifting. I wish I had the same mentality I do now with bodybuilding as I did when I was powerlifting, because I would have been such a more successful powerlifter. Not that I was ever really strong in the first place, so my genetics weren't great for powerlifting, my leverages and stuff, but if I had treated powerlifting with the same mentality as bodybuilding, i.e. if I had, ate properly, good nutrition, rather than just shit food, and if I had, this is the big one as well, powerlifters, if you're watching this, you're going to hate me for saying it, but it's so true. Now that I've done powerlifting for 4 years, and now I'm bodybuilding, powerlifters need to treat their accessories like a bodybuilder, and they just don't. Like I was guilty of it for the 4 years I was powerlifting. I literally would go into the gym as a powerlifter, hit my squat, bench, deadlift work. Then I would go into my accessories, is what you call them as a powerlifter. It's essentially just your other movements other than SBD work. And I train it RP2, half-assed, throwing the weight A to B, no real care or about my form or technique or the way I was producing the movement, the musculature I was working. It was literally just a case of moving the load A to B. And I cannot stress it enough. If you guys are powerlifting out there, train like a bodybuilder. And I know that sounds counterintuitive. Obviously, you still need to progress your SBD work. You still need to focus on, your variations in SBD work to bring up your weak points, etc. but powerlifters, 80% of the time, should be training like a bodybuilder. And it's just true. And hate me for saying it, but it is just true. And powerlifters themselves will know this. Unless you're on prep for powerlifting, you should be training as a bodybuilder, because the effectiveness it has is so much greater than just training as a powerlifter all year round. You've got to be working till failure on your, or at least close to failure, with good technique, good range of motion, good tempo on your accessories. But yeah, went off on a bit of a tangent there, as you can tell. Maybe I felt a bit too passionately about that one, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I always just like to have a little chats here and there. So yeah, anyway, enough about that. Going into gym, hit pull. We are week 1 of the gaining phase. So the way my coach likes to do it is he likes to start week 1, 3 to 2 reps in reserve. Week 2, 2 to 1 reps in reserve. Week 3, 1 rep in reserve. Then week 4 is all out failure. It's not how I would normally do it. I normally like to go straight in from failure from the get-go. Sometimes I even do first set, 2 reps in reserve, second set failure. But this has worked for me so far. I'm responding well to it. And obviously, I'm paying my coach for a reason, right? So we'll stick to it. It's going well, so can't complain. Hopefully, we might get a couple more weeks of gaining before prep starts. But the thing is with my prep, it's a 20-week prep, right? Or 22-week, I think, perhaps even. I always put in the description of these videos how many weeks out I am. But yeah, it's a long prep. So I think the idea my coach has behind this is go into it and, it's not going to be necessarily a deficit the whole time. We might hit hard at the beginning when motivation's high, drop a load of body fat, then we'll kind of maintain for a little bit, then we'll hit again, then we'll maintain, then we'll hit again. The idea is to be show ready about 4 weeks out. I think he said 3-4 weeks out, so then we can obviously get in that condition nice and early, allowing enough time to do so, and then have a few practice peak runs, because obviously I've never prepped before, so I don't know how many carbohydrates I'm going to need to peak, is I believe the terminology called for it. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, good times to come. It's going to be very difficult. Like I said, I think physically I'm going to be absolutely fine. I've always, I'm realistically, I'm going to be prepping on like 5,000 calories. I know that sounds mental to some people. They're like, that's impossible, but it's just genetics. Like, I'm currently gaining on 5.5, so my maintenance is around 5k calories. So I will probably start prep. It depends what my coach wants to do, but we'll probably start prep around 4 to 5k calories, I imagine, unless he cuts it harsher at the beginning. I don't know, but I imagine I probably won't go below 2.5, 3k calories throughout the majority of prep. I'll probably be above 3k calories majority of prep, which to some people is their bulk. So that's the benefit of being a naturally very skinny, tall, lanky person like me, is you can just cut on extremely high calories, on most people's bulking calories. That's the nice thing about it. The hard thing is you need to eat 6,000 plus calories of good quality fucking food to gain weight, and that's the tough part. And that's with additional supplementation as well. So it's not easy. It's not easy out here, that's for sure. But anyway, never let your genetics be a limiting factor. Something I've learned: never ever accept your genetics for what they are. Always work against your genetics, no matter what. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to go to the gym. I will probably try and talk in there like I am doing here, if possible. If the gym's really busy, because it's quite a small gym, I might just do a bit of a voiceover instead. I don't like talking in the middle of the gym. Not because I'm happy to do it. I have no issue doing it. It's just a sense of, I don't want to get in people's way, because it's quite a small gym as well. I don't want to be in people's way talking on equipment when people are waiting to use it, etc. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to respect other people's training sessions as well. So we'll see how busy it is. Might talk in there, might do a voiceover. Either way, see you guys in a second. I'm also trying to stay off pre-workout for the moment, save it for prep when I need it. So for now, White Monster will suffice. Oh, fuck me, there it goes. Excellent stuff. That's going to be fun to open later. Right, so first movement we're doing today is the T-bar row, chest supported. So this is our kind of main vertical pulling movement of the session. So this one's kind of more predominantly upper back focused. My other pull session is more lat biased. So yeah, not much more else to say. We're gonna get started on this, warm up to working sets. Doing 2 working sets of 10 to 15 reps, I believe.
It's going to take a time warming up as it's the first exercise. Warm up into it and then get to working weight. Yes, I am standing on the floor, and no, I'm not doing that to make it easier. I'm just way too far over the chest support. It's more on my stomach. It's just extremely uncomfortable. So feet on the floor does make it a little bit easier, I'll be honest, but it allows me to kind of leverage myself better, get my chest more on the pad, which is a better position to pull from. So yeah, I'm going to start warming up on this now. Two plates going on with this, trying to focus on getting a good stretch at the bottom. So allowing myself to really kind of come forward, shoulders round a little bit at the bottom to get that full stretch on the lats. Also trying to not let my chest come off the pad too much on the concentric. So I'm really trying to keep my technique in line, try not to use too much momentum. Obviously, as the load gets heavier and we're working close to failure, then we are going to see obviously a little bit of form breakdown. That's fine as long as it's not too drastic. But the plan is to try and keep technique consistent the whole way through the set. 3 plates is going on. This will be my last warm-up set before working weight. Goal for working weight would be to try and beat the load or the rep range that I used last time, or the rep, sorry. Putting straps on for this set as it's my last warm-up. I'm using these Bear grip straps at the moment. Not a huge fan of them, but I wanted to try them out because, I don't know, I had them on hand, so I thought I might as well give them a go. I think traditional straps are probably still the best option, but I want to give these, a few more sessions to try them, see if I prefer them. I think once they're set up, the grip is better on these, but traditional straps is easier to set up, but that might just be because I've been using them for longer. Yeah, let me know what type of straps do you use, if you do use them at all. If you don't, then how come you don't use them? I know it's all preference, but I think for bodybuilding, if you are trying to go to a failure or close to failure on a certain muscle group, you don't want your grip strength to be a limiting factor, so you want to be able to push to failure on that targeted muscle. So obviously hence the use of straps. So I'm going to give these a go, probably try them for a couple more sessions. If I get on with them, I'll stick with them. If I don't, I'll change back to traditional straps. 3 to 5 reps on this, just to get a feel for the load. Don't want to wear myself out too much. Important on your warm-up sets not to go all out failure. You want to conserve energy, but at the same time you want to expose yourself to the movement enough, get enough blood flow that you feel ready to do the top set. But essentially just warm up based on how you feel. Some people prefer a lot more volume for the warm-ups, some people do like little to no warm-up. It's all preference. I like a fine balance between the two. So yeah, 3 to 5 reps on this to get a feel for the load. Notice as well how I'm treating my warm-ups the same, no matter what the load is. So I'm treating my first warm-up set the same as my working sets are going to be. So that consistency is going to build the technique and build those habits. So your technique overall is going to be more consistent. So really trying to focus on a good contraction at the top. So pausing for half a second at the top of the movement for a good contraction, a nice slow and controlled eccentric. So I'm not just dropping the weight, I'm allowing, my musculature to stretch properly, getting a deep stretch, about 2 to 3 seconds on the way down, I say. A ever so slight pause in the fully lengthened position. This is going to allow me to kill all momentum, so I'm not using the momentum to swing back up again. Like I said, you might experience a bit of form breakdown towards the end of your set. That is completely normal as fatigue sets in, but we're going to try and limit that as much as possible. And that's just through experience. It's a skill, learning how to train with good technique. I'm still learning it myself. I don't think anyone has perfect technique. There's always ways to improve it. But yeah, so just trying to keep that consistent throughout all my warm-up sets. But yeah, we'll see what load we're going to now, but we'll go on to working weight now. So 2 working sets, let's get it done. Right, we're now onto our lat bias pull down. You'll see on this I'm going to be sat off to one side. Two reasons for that. Firstly being I'm just a long fuck and my arms are too long to sit on it normally and get a full stretch on the lat. So I'm sitting off to the side a little bit to allow my lat to get that full stretch at the top. And also, I personally think the stretch is better when you sit off to one side. Again, all down to preference. You might prefer not to, you might prefer to do it normally. I like to sit off to one side because it allows your lat to wrap around a little bit, and where the lat inserts on your humerus, you can get that kind of deep stretch at the top. Again, personal preference, I primarily do it just so I can actually get a full stretch because my arms are long, so sitting off to one side helps, but you know, all preference. Roughly 2 to 3 minutes rest time between sets. Rest time is one of those ones where everyone's going to tell you a different answer to how much rest you should take. I personally just go by when I feel ready. So when my CNS is recovered, when I feel like fatigue is mostly dispersed and I'm able to obviously perform my next working set. Again, really depends, but I tend to wait 2 to 3 minutes on most exercises, maybe up to 5 minutes on bigger exercises, so more compound movements like heavy presses, heavy pulls, squat, RDL, etc. But for the most part, it's up to 3 minutes rest between sets. I actually lied. I said this session was more upper back focused, but this one's more lat focused, hence the lat bias pull down, now the lat pullovers. So already filmed the first set, into the second working set now. Rep range is a bit higher on this one, meant to be 15 to 20. So we'll aim for that on this working set. Yeah, feeling good, feeling strong, energy still high. Onto this, and we've got one more back movement before biceps at the end. So yeah, second working set of lat pullover. Right guys, on to the final back exercise of this session, which is a Cybex low row. So just any low row variation. Using this pad to get a bit more range of motion. Again, long arms, so I get a full stretch. We're doing one set on this, but it's a Widowmaker set. Essentially, Widowmaker set is almost like 3 sets combined into one. So we're doing first round of reps, 10, 15 reps with 2 to 3 in the tank. Then rest pause in the stretch position for about 10 seconds or so. Then another set. 2 to 3 reps in reserve, then another set, 2 to 3 in reserve. Bit confusing, it's just another means of overloading, of intensifying the session, or the set I should say. But anyway, gonna do it now. You'll see what I mean when we get into the set. We have one set on this, so yeah, gonna be a tough one, probably about 30 reps total, so yeah, let's get it. Right, so now we just got our last and final exercise, other than abs, which I'll do at the end, we have biceps. So for this, we're doing a standing D handle curl, bilateral. So what I'm going to do is bring these up so it's just below hand height. I prefer it to this than doing it from all the way to the bottom. It's a bit more of a stretch on the bicep. So bringing up the other side. I've got 3 sets of this. Probably just film the first set, I won't film the last 2 because they're a bit boring. So yeah, just this, then I've got abs to finish with, and then we'll do a little bit of posing because I didn't do any posing last time and I need to do a bit more of it. So we're going to do a bit of posing after, show what the physique is looking like, peak bulk before prep starts. So yeah, final exercise, get into this now.
Right, so going to do a few rounds of posing now. I always hate doing this, if I'm having a little honest talk for a minute. Posing when you're in the off season, when you are higher body fat, obviously you're not going to look as impressive. The waistline isn't as small, therefore the shoulder to waist ratio doesn't look as good. You feel bigger, you feel fuller, but you don't look as good when your top's off. And this is the downside. And I think this is where the body dysmorphia really comes in. And I always neglect filming myself posing and, you know, posting it. Or sometimes I'll even film a whole routine, like all my mandatories, and I'll delete the footage straight after because I just hate the way I look. So this is going to be a very honest and raw, just this is my physique, these are the shots. I'm going to go through a couple rounds of men's physique mandatory poses, and maybe we'll hit a few classic for a bit of fun, even though I'm not doing classic. Yeah, this is always the tricky part because it's hard to look at yourself when you know you're not in the best shape that you have been in before. You know, obviously I've never been stage ready, but I've been leaner. And when you're leaner, it just creates this illusion of everything looking more impressive, especially with the belly fat or trying to suck the gut in. But this is part of the process. This is why I'm filming this, because I want you guys to see that, you know, you are going to go through times where you don't look as good. And I want you to see the progression, hopefully, as we go forward throughout prep, of me getting smaller in the terms of, you know, I'm losing body weight, but the illusion how it makes me look bigger. So it can really give you guys an insight as to why all your favourite influencers and content creators and bodybuilders you see online, when they're only posting pictures of them shredded, that's not how they look all the time. For some people it might be, they might stay that condition year round, but for most it's not. So this is a very raw, honest, sort of like, this is my physique. I'm going to try to do this every video, and we'll just go through it. So lighting is all right in here, it's pretty good. Bit of natural light coming through, which does wash you out a little bit, doesn't help without much of a tan. But I'm not going to make any excuses, and we're just going to go for it. So yeah, a few rounds of posing. Let's see what we can do. Right guys, we're going to wrap up the video there. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I do appreciate it. Successful pull day, so that is week 1 of the gaining phase, the final gaining phase for prep over. So we now have, as planned thus far, we have 3 more weeks of gaining, increasing the intensity each week, so reducing the RIR, reps and reserve, till we get to all out failure in week 4. Then if all goes as planned, we'll deload and go straight into prep. So yeah, successful week, happy. Sometimes, you know, reflecting on the week, it's just about showing up and ticking boxes. I had one session this week, yesterday, where I just came in and head wasn't in it, had a few things going on externally, kind of felt just a little bit low, lack of motivation, just not really feeling all there, not really feeling 100% alert. And, you know, that happens. You have days like this. And, you know, it's not always going to be you're going to come in and you're going to progress and you're going to feel like really good in yourself. Something I've learned over the years training, you know, sometimes it's just about coming into the gym and just ticking boxes, getting the work done and leaving. And that's fine. You know, that is part of the process. Again, just trying to be really real and reflect to you guys what the process is about, and this is the process. Some sessions you come in, you feel great. Today was a good session. I felt really good. But you are going to have times where you just come in and you don't feel all that. Maybe due to external circumstances outside of training, just life, work, etc., relationships, friendships, whatever it is. And you will have times like that. But it's how you choose to respond to these situations. Try to say circumstance and situation at the same time. How you choose to respond to these situations and these circumstances is really what defines you as a person, I feel. So, acknowledging what's happening, feeling a certain emotion, then choosing to kind of respond in the way you want to. You can either let it affect you, positively or negatively. It's just how you choose to respond to it. But try not to get any deeper than that. I do tend to go off on these spirals of deep conversations, but that's just me. But if you guys enjoyed the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. I don't want to sound like every other influencer. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, but it would mean a lot if you guys have made it this far. If you could leave a like, if you could comment, if you fancy commenting, subscribing to the channel. These videos will be once a week minimum. I'm going to try and post them a bit more frequently if I can fit that in around work. I love making these videos. It's just raw, it's authentic, it's what I want to do. This is literally what I do anyway. I just come to the gym and train. This is literally my life. It's just work, train, sleep, repeat, eat food, just repeat on cycles. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Any suggestions, very open to criticism or anything you guys want to comment on, let me know. Hopefully get a few more interesting videos out. I want to do a food challenge video before prep starts, so I'm going to do that hopefully in a few days time. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're all having a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will catch you guys in the next one.